Hello, everyone. En here, head of community at Livepeer, and this is our weekly Watercooler Chat. We have a few topics today and some presentations as well. So, just go over the topics really quick, and then I'll do some community announcements, and then we'll get into it. So, our topics today are the foundation. We also have some EDU content from Origin Stories. We have the Creator live stream series on Daydream, and we also have maybe some updates from the Agent SP around the Sarah launch, but that's optional if Phoenix is interested in diving more into that. For the community announcements, not a ton today. Of course, the big Discord happening was the Daydream community moving out of our server into its own unique server. So if folks haven't seen that, feel free to jump into the Daydream category. There's the link to the Discord server there. And, that will be moving out. Those channels will be deleted a week from Wednesday. So, jump in there, move over if you're interested. If you're not, action needed there. So that's the big update. The other big update is we've had participation over 50%. We're currently at last I checked 51%, 50.1%, excuse me. So we are starting to see that inflation tick down, which is super exciting. So congrats to the community for getting it over that 50% mark. And hopefully we continue to stay there for the foreseeable future. But those are the big updates on my end. So we can jump into the foundation topic from Rich. And I know you have a presentation, I believe. So please take it away.
Awesome. Let's see if this works. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, turning on a camera as well. Let's share the inside screen. Can someone give me a heads up? Can you see my screen?
Good on my end.
Perfect. Please let me know if some people can't. I know that Discord sometimes bugs. Awesome. Really, really happy to be here and excited to share what the Livepeer Foundation team has been cooking over the last couple of weeks. For those of you who don't know, we launched or we announced the launch of the Livepeer Foundation a couple of weeks back and detailed out, gave a broad overview of what the foundation will own and look to achieve in the coming months and years. Maybe if one of the foundation team could just share the link to the original forum post. And in this presentation, I just wanted to go into a key part of or a key part of the Livepeer Foundation's mission, which is really creating a new era of strategy and strategy setting for the Livepeer project as a whole. I'm going to keep this quite high level, go through it in about 10 to 15 minutes. Really, I'm happy to take any quick questions in a Q&A. The main thing is at the end, you'll see a QR code, which you can scan to then go through to the forum post. And I really would love people to read through it and express any support, questions, concerns in there. So without further ado, the mission of the Livepeer Foundation is to steward the vision, ecosystem growth, and core development of the Livepeer project. And as we discussed a couple of weeks back, we really see the Livepeer Foundation as this vehicle for ecosystem participation. There are three core pillars which we focus on. Strategy and vision, so to align ecosystem stakeholders on a long-term roadmap and mobilize distributed groups for its execution. Core network development, this is everything around research, development of core ecosystem tooling like the Explorer, and also ensuring that there are necessary upgrades when the community demands it. And then finally, ecosystem growth. And this is really creating a talent funnel of new developers and founders who want to contribute, build on, and really drive demand on the Livepeer network. Today, however, we're going to be focusing on this first core pillar, which is a strategy setting and the creation of the Livepeer roadmap. So to go back to the ownership, we really see the Livepeer Foundation as coordinating, facilitating the process of setting the long-term strategy for the Livepeer project, and then coordinating the execution of it through different groups. Now, this might be SPEs, it might be different entities like Livepeer Inc. or Streamplace, or it might be external sources that come into the Livepeer ecosystem attracted by what can be built. And we try to put it forward. You'll meet Ven in a bit. Really happy to be working with him. And Ven has put together this OODA diagram to just give you an idea of how this process works when thinking about the coordination of the strategy. So obviously we start with the world, which is the current state of the network, the Livepeer network as it is now. Then we look to observe the network, and this is through raw data from the Explorer, through community, submitting suggestions or opportunities, challenges, and then advisory boards, which is this next exciting chapter, which we'll come on to in a minute. And then from all of this data, the foundation's job is to try and synthesize it and put it together into a coherent roadmap, which really presents near-term opportunities that can be focused on by the community as a whole. Then from there, after the analysis of the foundation's roadmap and strategy, token holders can then, and other token holders and the core entities can then decide exactly what they want to focus on. So the decision is, particularly from an on-chain treasury perspective, to ensure that token holders really vote on the different groups, different SPEs, these special purpose entities for those new here, funded by the on-chain treasury. And then it's up to the contributors, SPEs, external talent to then act and to deliver on this roadmap, coordinated strongly by the Livepeer Foundation and other core entities like the growth team in Livepeer Inc. and GovWorks. And then we go back and the loop is closed to have this new world where we observe and integrate that feedback. So what I'm going to focus on is really this observe and orient stage, where a lot of the strategy is actually the roadmap itself is actually set. And I think it's key to highlight that we at the foundation we really want all ecosystem stakeholders to participate in this strategy setting process. So this is orchestrators who have been around for donkeys and really been a key part of the Livepeer network's growth and development. SPEs, these special purpose entities, GovWorks, which is a recently formed entity focusing on supporting SPEs and making sure they have transparent reporting. Token holders, delegators who are key, obviously, to the Livepeer network as a whole. Gateway operators, we're seeing more gateways appear, and we obviously want more diversification of gateways on the network as a whole. And then finally, Livepeer Inc., which was the venture-backed company that built the network in the first place, bootstrapped it, and have really been obviously instrumental to the strategy setting process thus far. So advisory boards. Advisory boards are the mechanism to provide a clear pathway for ecosystem stakeholders to participate in strategy setting. Quite a mouthful, but what are they at their core? It is a group, they are an extension of the Livepeer Foundation to really define and prioritize key opportunities which the Livepeer project should be focused on. These are small domain-specific groups. We'll come on to the different domains in a bit. And they consist of Livepeer core contributors from these different stakeholders across the ecosystem. And they really represent these different parts. So it's not just one core entity defining what is the strategy for the network as a whole. And the foundation facilitates this advisory board life cycle over a period of 6 months, really synthesizing and publishing a coherent roadmap and helping to mobilize resources. We see this in a 5-part process, which I'll come on to more in a bit. Firstly, form. That's forming the advisory boards, selecting the right different ecosystem participants that represent the network as a whole. Surveying the community and getting input from the community through GovWorks, through N, and with other core community facilitators to really survey what the wider ecosystem wants to, the wider community wants to prioritize. Then making recommendations. What are the near-term opportunities? Having ingested all of this surveyed information, what are these near-term opportunities that the ecosystem could, the network as a whole could focus on? Then once we have those recommendations, thinking, okay, as teams start to emerge from the RFPs or directly or from a bottom-up approach, these may be SPEs, but they may also be other entities that enter other groups, working groups that want to work on these problems that are individually funded. And then I'm really assessing their suitability to the to work on, and the advisory boards assess these teams for suitability to work on the different problems, the different opportunities. And then finally, advising. So on an ongoing basis, providing connections, mentoring, guidance in difficult strategic questions to ensure that these different groups are really on track with fulfilling what they said they would fulfill. So at a high level, what we wanted to do is create 4 different advisory boards that have an exhaustive list that have an exhaustive list of different areas of the Livepeer project as a whole. And the foundation has landed on these four different advisory boards to kick off: network, growth, markets, and governance. So the network focuses on everything related to the creating a performant network as a product. So that's everything from orchestrators, supply, tooling for orchestrators to ensure that there's gateway development and ensuring there's enough GPU capacity on the network as a whole. Then with growth, this is thinking everything related to core programs, partnerships, event sponsorships, project marketing, and ensuring that Livepeer is on track to really take that network as a product and bring it to market in an effective way. Then markets is thinking about token holders and accessibility of LPT as a whole. That's everything from DEX liquidity to staking experience to thinking about various other DeFi opportunities that could exist out there. And then finally, governance, which is everything from on-chain treasury management to security councils to protocol upgrades, really ensuring that Livepeer project progressively decentralizes to this community-governed protocol. So how does this process work? Well, first of all, everyone on this call, ecosystem participants, can apply to participate in these advisory boards. Each advisory board consists of 1 chair, which the chair will be initially from the Livepeer Foundation, and then 3 to 6 selected ecosystem participants. This might be from Livepeer Inc., it might be from the orchestrator community, SPEs. We want it to be quite broad, and from so that different stakeholders are represented. And from this, for what we're looking for as criteria for these advisory boards is established reputation, someone who's contributed a lot to Livepeer in the past and has a good standing within the ecosystem, is a strategic thinker, someone who can think long-term as well as short-term and can really balance different needs, to have a collaborative attitude, to really being able to compromise and knowing when to push and pull, And then finally, stake in the network, people who are long-term financially aligned with the success of the Livepeer network. And each ecosystem participant can apply to join the advisory board by posting on a forum post, which you'll be able to see, and maybe someone in the Livepeer Foundation team can actually share the individual links to each post. We've created a advisory board category, and you'll see 4 initial posts on there which goes through the exact details of how you can apply. Initially, these advisory boards will be selected by the Livepeer Foundation. This is to ensure that for the first attempt, we really have a clearly defined advisory board and have a greater degree of control. However, what we will say is that in the medium term, we're really looking to build a protocol around this, which really minimizes the need for a selection and can look at election. The time frame for this will obviously depend on the success of the advisory boards, and we're in this learning and iteration phase. So really important that we see this as a long-term plan, which emerges over time and really goes from selection to election. And the advisory board process will start this week. So we're super excited to start, and we're looking to get this initial roadmap, as we talked about, published by July. Now, as we said, the advisory boards will start with this formation period, and over the next 2 weeks until May 23rd, you'll be able to apply for these advisory boards. Then we'll go through this survey period where all ecosystem participants are surveyed to map core challenges and opportunities. Then we'll talk through this recommendation period, which will start with the advisory boards recommending these opportunities, and then the foundation will synthesize this into a coherent project roadmap, which will be much more coherent, much more easy to find, rather than go through a whole load of different advisory board forum posts as an example. And then finally, and then there will be a screening process of these new teams. This will be relatively informal at this moment, mostly because we're still exploring what that screening process looks like. And then obviously there will be ongoing advisory until the end of the year for these initial advisory boards. So, what's happened here? There we go. As I've said, advisory boards will be facilitated by the foundation core team. For those of you who don't know me and missed the beginning of the call, my name is Rich, and I will be leading the foundation. I've been with Livepeer for the last year, and I'll be chairing both the growth and governance advisory boards. Then we have Rick, who everyone who's been around for a minute at Livepeer knows, the ultimate typer in Discord and the forum. Rick will be chairing the network advisory board. Ben, who I think most people know by now, who started a couple of months ago, will be leading the markets advisory board. Ben's got a huge amount of experience both on the finance side and the people side. Super excited to have him lead this. And then Joseph, who many met 2 weeks ago, will be focused on roadmap publication and really synthesizing a lot of this information. And then finally, we have Ven, who I don't think, maybe a couple of people have attended some watercoolers to meet Ven, but I wanted to give the floor to Ven to give a quick introduction, as Ven will be instrumental in facilitating a lot of the workshops and really designing the advisory board mechanism. Ven, I don't know whether you're here.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, just go for it. Nice quick intro.
Cool. Yeah, hey all. Yeah, I'm Ven Gist, a longtime governance nerd and meta coordinator throughout the Ethereum ecosystem. Since like 2018 or so, I've helped form and cohere various distributed orgs, such as Metacartel, Raid Guild, DAO House, Public Nouns, and many others. Today, I'm mostly involved in like research and application initiatives, such as Guild and Open Protocol Research Group. Yeah, and I'm here to support the foundation in the formation and facilitation of the advisory boards, uh, mostly through just like lightweight, high impact processes to maximize everyone's time and energy. I'll basically obsess over the processes and mechanisms so that you don't have to. Um, our shared goal will be to like generate content or coherent strategic direction for the Livepeer network, aggregating all the diverse, specialized perspectives around. Yeah, and I really love helping networks access their full capacity of distributed intelligence, and excited to get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Ben is a very modest guy. Ben has been instrumental to the development of the DAO space and decentralized governance as a whole. So we're super lucky to have him, and welcome along, Mehdi, for joining this part of the project. So that's pretty much it. I haven't checked this QR code, so please do someone say if it doesn't work. But this should take you through to the advisory board forum post, where we do go into a lot more detail, and also there should be the links there for how you can get involved with each advisory board. As I said, we have this until next Thursday to put forward your candidacy, and we really recommend encourage everyone, even if you're not meeting all criteria, to really just put your name forward, and we will reach out if we like your candidacy and want to learn more about you. Awesome. I haven't checked that for time. I realize I'm a bit over, and just received a call from my mother. But thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for presenting, Rich. Just the question I think on everyone's mind is, what are the next places they can learn about it? Is it that QR code? Are you going to be announcing more things shortly for how folks can tap in?
Yes, it's the QR code. So if I post, well, I realize actually you could just go and click on the above links. I think Joe and Rick have posted the advisory board candidacy forum post. The most important thing is to go to each one of those posts, see your suitability to whatever domain you feel you're an expert in, and you can write out a series of 6 questions. These are short. Please don't feel like you have to spend hours and hours, but do give enough information to as if you were applying for a job, as an example, so that the community can then give some signal, and obviously also the foundation can get a holistic understanding.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Okay, continuing on, we're going over to Sean from Origin Stories to talk about some educational content that he's creating.
Hey, can you hear me?
Just before we move on, and
Okay.
I realized we're at time. So, sorry, Sean. Sorry to butt in.
No, you're okay. No worries.
Just in terms of questions, please do post them in the chat here. We're going to be online. All the foundation team is online. I realize we're a bit over, but if you have any show of support or questions, please do post them in the chat, and we'll get to them over the next half an hour. Awesome. Thanks. Sorry.
Of course. No, you're good. And yeah, and be sure to check out those links they sent as well. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Okay, we're here. Sorry, I lost the window again. Yeah, super exciting about the foundation. I love the coordinated effort and like the care that's going into planning a lot of that stuff. So excited to, yeah, I think a lot of what we're doing in the research that we've sort of uncovered while working with a lot of our design partners is where there are growth areas and problem opportunity. I'm just going to share quickly our kind of like wrap up report. So you can check some of the things we've been putting there as well. But we actually have a framework we've been doing around like problem opportunity to arrive at sort of where Livepeer could be helpful to a lot of different, let's say, sectors in the media entertainment. industry. And the one that's at the top of that is actually about broadcasts, which is kind of a really new use case that we discovered over the last 4 months with one of our partners, and have some exciting opportunities to already try to demo some experiences with them. So I can talk about that in a bit, but I just wanted to also share we'll be dropping like educational content over the next week. So we started as part of the SPE a small series around AI. So it covers 6 different topics. The first is the history of AI. Everything's about 7 minutes or less. We really wanted to keep the long form videos very kind of like bite sized, but packed for people to watch. And this short form content for that will start rolling out tomorrow. So our drop schedule there is today, really like soft announcement, but basically from Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday of this coming week. So yeah, just keep checking that out, and we'll have some great metrics to share. We're working alongside Creed Media, a specialist from there, which I'll share to you. They're like a great Gen Z um, marketing and social form, not form, but agency, and they work like with really high profile clients. So our goal is, yeah, I mean, was wanted to make things that were a bit evergreen. We actually waited a bit actually to release also because there's been, of course, a real shift to real-time AI. So we were actually able to include a couple clips from Twitch last week, and I'm sure Doug and the team will talk a little bit more. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of our update. We have some pretty, as you know, like we've been continuing to work, and the goal is to continue straight through to the next phase of this. So um, based off of what the market looks like in terms of readiness across our design partners and other people we reached out to, no more than 6 months makes sense. Really trying to go slow based off of like what's possible, what's piloting. But two of the really exciting opportunities and use cases we have. One is with our broadcast partner. They work very closely with South African Broadcast Corporation. It's like 30 million viewers a year. And we did a lot of problem opportunity around their productions. The one that seems the most interesting, and also the one that there's the most interest from kind of the approval department, because the next phase of a lot of this is we tinker and we make really cool stuff, and then there's people that are in charge higher up that are the decision makers, especially when you start talking about like, yeah, broadcasting to viewers and advertisement and things like this. But they have a really yeah, they got a pretty strong nod from Miss South Africa. So we will be doing, yeah, a lot of sort of like demo generations and ideation around that, and then preparing a demo for them. um, Hopefully within the next couple of months. Miss South Africa launches in August. So yeah, we also have been talking to broadcasts in a couple of other places, and there's a lot of interest in it. But again, yeah, everyone wants to be bold, but no one wants to be first. So you have like a lot of people sort of waiting, including in like Europe, where there's things like Melody Festival and Eurovision, which could be really interesting around real time and also generation for like large audience groups. But we're really excited that there is at least interest. And then the other piece, and this is something that yeah, I think might briefly about, but maybe can also open up to a slight discussion. It doesn't have to happen today. But basically, yeah, there's a feature film that's being made in Sweden. It's going to go to cinema. It already has like a really big international fashion brand signed on. They're pulling like archival for them, and they really want to try to dub their film into English. This is actually becoming quite possible with open source and like a hybrid approach. As I think most of you know, most of the high level creative in the world is not just AI, like even like the Coke ag commercials and things like this. But there's a really big opportunity there. So really just want to kind of figure out like, yeah, how pipelines work. And the co-producer of the film that they are doing, which is actually based on a Swedish book called Dr. Glass. It's like a very classic Swedish book. Um, they also already worked together on a film called Onskan, including the director. So I'm going to drop that, and you can check out some of that. But yeah, those are kind of our updates. So yeah, our goal is to, yeah, continue the rollout here. Put up yeah, a pre-proposal after it gets a little bit of feedback, and then hopefully be able to continue straight on with what we've been doing. We really have seen like how beneficial it is to networks. Our big experience coming up is around live stream testing on YouTube, and just working through that with Almer, and the potential of other people to be able to leverage what gets built is really interesting. And so we're at a cool crossroads where there's a lot of interest in using AI, especially around real time, or anything that's like, going to extend creativity or build better audience experiences. But it's still quite early because there just aren't enough real use cases where people can see, okay, that's going to work, or this is really cool. So to be able to be first in some of these markets, and especially to have really cool distribution with some partners, I think is really exciting. And I'm happy that that's something that I and the team that we work can bring into Livepeer. So if you check in this IMDb, you can find a link to check Anskan as well, which is the same director, and then Christian and Isaac are part of the production company. So that's my TED talk for today in the water cooler.
Thank you. One question that came up for me is, as you kind of survey and go to these different places, what opportunities are you seeing for kind of more substantive on-chain growth for Livepeer?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people are starting to accept payments in crypto, especially in like more innovative markets like the Netherlands. It's even in like the KVK, which is like the commerce basically is sharing like what's good and what you can or can't do. And a lot of the sort of projects that we're working on are in this SMB independent production group. So that there's people that aren't enterprise, that are going to work directly with OpenAI and ChatGPT and Google, and they're not like kind of consumer creative where they don't have enough work to actually make it scalable. And so by having not only word of mouth to be able to build with them first, that also gets us around those networks, and especially spaces that are really interested in like the public good and have a lot of public services like Sweden around innovation. I think there's a lot of opportunity for them to use Livepeer and the tech stack as they become more familiar with like what is open source or what are extra models. And in South Africa, something that is very interesting is, as you know, it's kind of a first world country, but it's actually not. And a lot of their budgets are really, really small. They don't have access to do some of the things that you can do when you have a decentralized network. And if you could put things in cloud, and also can be cheaper to run. And so by also allowing them to innovate earlier, it can help that it spread in networks and markets that can actually use this technology and doesn't maybe have so much immediate like enterprise competition, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and of course, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to either message in chat or come off mute. But I think been thinking a lot about like growth and how as a network we achieve that. And something that keeps coming to my mind is this kind of case study, one-to-one showcasing. Even if it's not initial substantive demand, it is potentially like a signal in a direction. What kind of verticals are you thinking that is most feasible in the kind of more artistic film world?
So the big thing with like when you're in this SMB like independent kind of layer, you really don't need or care about help for like the artistic core, and that's like a general statement. But most of the people that we've chatted with, even for storyboarding, they say, oh, we'll use AI, but we'll actually go find an image that we like better. Like they're really thinking about optimization, efficiency, like not so worried about their job being taken, but how they can improve their job and create better experiences. So a lot of it has been around non-creative workflows. So let's say like lip sync dubbing for film, because if you, in the example of Triangle Drama and Untitled Picture, it's their first independent film that's funded. Of course, they've been in big stuff. Christian is like, I'm not sure if it's announced, so yeah, maybe we can't say this because it's recorded, but he's like about to be in a really, really major Swedish production. But still, you're kind of you become tight for budget, and you can't optimize, and you're trying to like grow your audience. And so real time and lip sync, these things can actually provide tools for distribution to the people that normally they wouldn't be able to get. And so that's like a solution that actually is valuable to a lot of teams. Broadcast is the one we were the most surprised with, but the one that we're very, very excited about, because this idea to go 1 to, millions of viewers is very, very big. And Miss South Africa, the reason why we went back and forth on like what's a good demo pilot is that one, once it's made, because it also requires us to think about ethics and like, South Africa has 11 official languages and like such a diverse amount of color palette, and just in terms of the population. And so how do you create, an ethical experience that's public facing, that feels inclusive, and having that model as a demo can then also be shopped to places where, like in Sweden, there is very much interest in how do you, leverage the innovation or extend creativity to users, but they're just not going to, they're maybe not going to be first to do it, but once you can see a model. So those two have been quite big. And the other, which was a bit of a wild card. I mean, this is like in addition to just like co-creation live stream visuals, which you kind of know about from Daydream now. And when we did the experience earlier this year, or yeah, in like February, it was like, okay, this is amazing. Everyone loves it. Like, this is cool. Like, we don't need to try this again. We need to scale this bigger to really like make a moment. But the other kind of tool has been around optimization for um, audition. So like a big issue for theater for film is casting. Like, you have to be on self tape, and there's like almost 40,000 self tapes that happen a day. And to do that, you need a reader, and like the casting director doesn't want it to be, an AI voice. Like all of these issues, or not an AI voice, but let's say like they don't want it to be your voice twice. And so you plug in like 11 labs, but there's all of these pieces you want it to do. And so that idea of like how can you build something that truly serves the population that's using it all the time is just like other interesting workflows, because you you have that, yeah, every day. I mean, when we were doing workshop with Adam from theater, he got a self tape like on the day that we came up with the reader concept, and it was like, why don't I have this right now? And so those things like conversational pipelines and Sesame and things as they improve, and like, obviously having to like refine and make sure they're better, but these are kind of like, I think, early tools that can be sustainable, and then through word of mouth and distribution continue to grow both the network but also use, because these are industries that you're going to have to continue to do that. There will always be, broadcast live shows with millions of viewers. There will always be venues having music concerts or dance club events, and there will always be actors auditioning, for better or for worse. Like, even I don't think that AI will replace actors completely. There will be like a new, category, but there's something really, really interesting about them. And so that's a workforce that I can foresee continuing on, and also trying to leverage AI, but like not knowing how, because they don't really need it for creation. It can be a useful tool, but they more need it for like optimization, automation, like help for their own. Everyone, time is money, like saving time. Speaking of me talking for this long, but time is money. So like people are of every kind of like creative sector can benefit from that, even if it's not about like, a creative thing that it makes them do.
Yeah, last thought for me, and of course anyone else can speak up as well. But one thing I've been thinking about, just because I've been using Daydream and creating some content on my personal TikTok. I have like not a huge following there, but like pretty sizable one. And I think that experience showed me, as someone who's like, I'm maybe good at writing, but I'm not sure I'd call myself artistically, like visually artistically, you know, good. Uh, that Daydream really helped me kind of visualize and make real the internal world that I was like dreaming about. So I think the power of, maybe this is a vertical, and feel free, we can discuss this as time goes on, but I think a really powerful vertical for real-time video AI is that kind of like maybe the talent asymmetry, where if somebody doesn't have, because if you're a director or you're an artist and you've been doing it for a billion years, arguably, maybe not even arguably, you are probably better at that than AI will be, at least at this point. So I think where the power of a lot of real time video stuff comes in is for people who have not invested in that skill set. The most kind of corollary experience that I had was I do a lot of local organizing in Salt Lake, and I do social media management for a nonprofit, and Canva, I didn't know how to do any like poster design, and Canva really helped me unlock that skill. So I see like, real-time video being a similar thing for a lot of people who want to, make these super cool visuals, but don't have the prowess to actually create them. So I don't know if that's thought provoking for anybody, but that's kind of what I've been thinking about as I created this one. It was like a minute, 20-second video on TikTok. It did pretty well, and I was like, oh yeah, like this did unlock something for me as somebody who is like talentless in terms of video creation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next part is about providing context with that, right? So how does it just not be novel, and how do you actually be able to apply? Because what TikTok did really well was, yeah, like all of this kids, they weren't editing, right? But they suddenly knew how to edit and had some of the primitive vocabulary. So I think, yeah, I think we can definitely collaborate on and think through that too. And now I have to check your TikTok. So
No, it's private. No one can find it. So anyway, thank you, Sean. If anyone has any comments or questions for Sean, feel free to drop it in chat or ping them in the server. Up next, we had talking about Daydream creator live stream series and some comments from Doug.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of some of the growth efforts around the Daydream real-time AI demonstration application. I think if you look at the real-time AI fees, I can share a little screenshot here. You'll see that a lot of it is being driven by, let's see, by the real-time AI gateway right now, which is reflective of Daydream. If you haven't seen the app, check it out at daydream.live. But as part of the sort of early, pre-launch and ongoing launch marketing campaign, there's this really cool creator live stream series which kicked off last week, and I just want to share the link to the first episode if I can find it, which you can view here on YouTube. Definitely worth a watch or a skim if you haven't seen it. Two really talented creators were sort of going through the process of like discovering this, learning how to use it, trying prompts, taking submissions from the audience, tuning things. And I think that sort of content is going to be just sort of the seed and the beginning of what educates all the creators out there about what you can do with live video AI on Livepeer. So I think the next stream is coming this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time and will be advertised here on the server. So just wanted to highlight that for people to check out and be aware of.
In addition to that, if you join the server, the Daydream server, you will be able to there will be the event series for Tyler's live streams. So definitely jump over there. And there's already a bunch of really active folks. What I'm seeing, kind of like an early community signal for Daydream, is creatives similar to myself, people who are really like interested in creating visuals, making their internal world real, and creating content, visual content around that. And we're already seeing a ton of people create super cool stuff. So definitely encourage folks to check it out. I have been really enjoying watching all the videos people have been making in that creator program. So yeah, +1 to what you're saying, Doug.
Great. Also, I was typing this in the chat, but I'll say it out loud. Sean, great job with the educational content series. I watched the preview of the first video. Looks great. Excited to see the rest of them.
Awesome, yeah, and definitely we'll have to promote that from Livepeer's Twitter as well. Awesome, thank you, Doug. Last is if Phoenix, if you wanted to chat about some of the big things happening in the Agent SP. No pressure if not, but I know you had mentioned that.
Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity. I'll just quickly touch on a few things. So we've done a lot of amazing improvements on the VTubers. So Define is obviously in the audience. Maybe he can't talk, but if he can come up, then great. But so Define's is working with Brad on the BYOC, the Bring Your Own Container, so that people can launch these VTubers directly on their own orchestrator, so via the BYOC. So Define's been working a lot on that. Or
Oh no, did we lose Phoenix?
hear if anyone's oh hi.
You're
Sorry,
back. You're
can you
back.
hear me? Okay, sorry about that. I had a call come in. So, yeah, Titan's been working on this amazing VTuber called Sarah. I'm not sure if anyone here, I mean, we have spoken about her before. She's sort of made a big splash on Pump.Fun, and we've been working a lot on making her magnificent, more magnificent than she already is. So she is currently having V2 adjustments made. This week we are going to, I actually think she's live right now on Pump.Fun. She was just in development mode and we had her turned off to make all these adjustments. So she will be, she has got so many updates with just her, the way she speaks, the way she interacts. We have also got a friend for Sarah called Lucy, who we've been working on. And I know Define has, well, the whole team has been working on making the movement, the face gestures much more accurate to when she speaks. So it actually is all in good timing now. And yeah, Pump.Fun is going to have a big transformation coming up this week. It's probably going to be tomorrow. Titan will announce that when we know it. So we obviously love everybody's feedback, and we really hope that you really enjoy the tech and how much we've advanced with it. We've got a couple of new members. We've got a marketing member called Zodzilla, and also Dane is our 3D animator who kind of works all the time. He and Define are working basically all the time and making amazing progress on this. So watch this space and let us know what you think when these come out. And yeah, it's a big week for us, so we'd love to hear what people think. And yeah, any questions at all?
I do have a question. Can you drop the link to Sarah so folks can check it out?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to speak.
Of course, I was always. I'm super excited to kind of see the continued progress. I know you guys have been working so hard at it, so thank you for all of that labor towards the goal of increasing fees on network. It's super awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool because it's a new product. It's got a totally different angle, and if we've thought, well, maybe we need to build a product, obviously, and then we can feed those feeds back into the network. So it's amazing we've been given this opportunity from the Treasury. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that product direction is a really strong one. You know, kind of like building a product, building a customer base, that kind of like well-worn path of, you know, productization. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Hopefully, it's gonna be exciting and successful. I'm excited.
Hopefully, that's the goal. Exactly. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else have any comments or questions for Phoenix and Agent SP? Oh, Define, you want to say something? Oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay, so the last topic is one for me, actually about orchestrator stuff. So I was creating, and I think I had dropped this in.
Noticed in the stream,
Oh.
a miracle.
U6SD, what's your go-to crypto podcast?
Also, Phoenix, I'm not sure if you're meant to be unmuted, but.
Enthusiasm, spill the tea, or get lost in the bear market chaos. What's good music says he still likes
Phoenix, you're unmuted in the. Oh, okay, you're good. Yeah, I agree. Also, sorry, I had skipped over Nietzsche. Nietzsche had asked for some feedback on the GUID SPE pre-proposal. So if folks want to drop some comments on the forum, I'm sure Nietzsche would appreciate that. And the topic I was going to mention was just about the video pool. I know some folks in the video pool are here, but I've been getting an error about location, and it's like there's no orchestrators in my area. So I'm not sure if anyone has any insights on like what might be going wrong there, but if not, I'm sure the folks on the other server will help me out. But the accidental Sarah share, yeah, that was super clear. But yeah, if anyone has any like thoughts on what might be happening there, feel free to unmute and help me out. But if not, yeah, video miner pool, Rick. And it can also be something I do offline as well, if no one has thoughts. All right, well, I can take that offline then. Hold on, let me just see if it's what it's saying now. Yeah, it just keeps going through the unable to find an orchestrator close enough to your location, and it says unregistering transcoder, no orchestrator in your area. So I'm thinking like maybe if I use a VPN, that could solve it, but not fully sure. Amazon Docker. Yeah, I'm like one of the few Windows users. Anyway, okay, well, I will wait on folks in the video miner pool to get back to me. Anyway, I just wanted to ask you if folks had insights here. Alrighty, well, that is the end of our topics for today. Thank you everyone for joining and sharing with the community. We have just some event updates. We'll be having the last GovWorks office hours on Wednesday. And then as Doug mentioned, we're going to be having a live stream for Daydream with Tyler on Thursday. So feel free to jump into those events. And then hopefully by next week, I will announce the new second event for the weekly cadence structure. But that's still pending review. So thank you for the patience there. So yeah, if there's nothing else, we will wrap it up for today. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you hopefully at GovWorks office hours, but if not, next week at Watercooler. Bye, y'all.